Ready to go play? Let's get this old leash off. Ain't nobody else here. Come on. So we're going to go take a walk out into nature. We're going to go find a place to set up, practice a little bit of skills. Show you what we got going on along the way. Here we go. Okay, leave him alone. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, we're almost there and then we can get a drink. Come on. I know he likes that tall grass and the shade. He wants to lay down. Man, I didn't even walk that far, man. It's only been like a mile. Come on. See, if you hydrate before we leave. See, I'm always telling you, you gotta drink your water. Come on. Come on. You're gonna be okay. Come on. Come on. Let's go see if we can find another turtle. I know you're acting like you're not gonna come, but you're gonna. It's like when your mom threatens to leave you at the grocery store. Okay, I'm leaving without you. I'll go find all the fun by myself. All right. Enjoy living in the shade under the tree forever. Reverse psychology on a dog. Can't say it works every time, but come on, we'll get a drink of water here in a minute. All right, now we got to leave the trail, go find the creek. Should be over this way. Come on. Let's go get it. Down to the creek. So it'd be cooler over here, but there'll also be mosquitoes. Don't drink that. All right, let's get you some water. Come on, back in the shade here. Come on, come on, this way. Here's what we're gonna do. Hold on. You silly goose, that's supposed to be your water bowl. I'm gonna do a little bushcraft water bowl, but you gotta drop the pack and dig a little hole here. Hold on, baby. Goosey. You probably can't see that. So, make a little bushcraft dog water bowl for this guy. We're going to tuck this, and we could use a couple of these, but tuck this down in that hole. Give him some water. ahead and put another one. Hopefully that'll keep most of the water in. No, don't do that, Bubba. Don't do that. You're going to find out why you don't want to do that. Okay, I know, you're so goofy. You're so goofy. All right. Come here. Have some water. A little bit at a time. You're so thirsty, huh? Those mean old skeeters getting you. Oh no. There you go. Mean old skeeters, huh? See, this is the problem with Florida. Skeeters everywhere. All right, well, as you can see, I was trying to bring this old dog out here, show him a good time, not ruin his life. But he is not enjoying this. Because those skeeters, between the heat and the skeeters, he is done. He's ready for a car ride back to the house. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes. So, came out here to show you was a sheet bend in a literal way. Okay, so it's been a few days since I was out with Duke. Unfortunately, with the heat, the mosquitoes, everything was getting to him pretty bad. He needed to be taken home, given some Benadryl, rehydrated, cooled off. So we went ahead, we took care of Duke. Now, he's like a 2-year-old hunting breed, and, you know, I thought, yeah, he'll be up to this. He's, you know, acclimated enough, he's conditioned enough physically, he should be in good enough health to do that. But man, you know, the heat is no joke out here where we're at. And so, you know, you got to take care of yourself, take care of anybody in your group, including pets and animals. So be cognizant of what they got going on. If you can't get them to cool off and they're just suffering, if it's just a training exercise and you guys are just out here for enjoyment or recreation, no point in putting them through a suffering ordeal that could end up having longer term effects, medically speaking. So we want to take care of our animals. So he's not with me. We're, like I said, about a few days later, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up with the video that I was trying to get going on that day. So here we are. So just what is that video? Well, I'm going to show you something that will kind of get us into the mode of why we're back out here and what we're trying to achieve. So down here we have, around my waist, a piece of fabric, and this could be any fabric. Now this is about 9 feet of synthetic material, but you could get nylon, you could get, you know, natural stuff like cotton. Doesn't really matter, but all I've done is kind of wrapped around my waist, tucked the excess in my pocket, and then I have cordage in my other pockets as well. So if you wanted to go slick, you could very easily make that happen. Let me show you kind of how I have this wrapped around. Now this isn't through my belt loops, but if you had a way to do that or you wanted to use this as a belt, you could certainly do that. All I've done is folded the piece of fabric in half, so I have both lengths, and found about the middle point, taken that loop and put that right up front, taken the rest of the material, brought it around the back around myself, take one side, bring it through, so one of the two ends of our, what will be our hammock, will go through our loop that we've created, and then we just want to kind of tidy it up and tie it off. So I'm just going to throw an overhand loop, bring it through itself, go the other direction to make sure it stays put, bring that through, and now we just merely kind of tidy it up, tuck it away, bring my shirt back through here. And this is, you know, seems kind of goofy, and it might be kind of goofy, but if you're trying to go what we called in the military slick, that wasn't really what slick was in the military, but to carry the minimum amount of gear the simplest way. You want to have what's just on your person. Maybe you want to go just exploring, going light, super ultra lightweight or something. You just want to carry a piece of fabric that's lighter than what you could get for the same price, or maybe it would cost a lot less to just buy the fabric and then use lightweight cordage, something like what we have here with Kevlar. Now this is like a 3mm Kevlar. If you could get your hands on lightweight materials and you didn't want to carry like a heavy pack, you were able to source water because you had a lightweight water filter, something like I've shown in previous videos, then you could be able to do it just this way where, you know, I have water, I'm going to source food, I'm going to source water out in the field along my resupply route. I've mapped that out or whatever, and I just want to carry a, you know, a shelter system around my waist. Now, this is not the most ideal way of carrying things, but you can definitely get the job done. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a lump, a little bit of like weirdness, but it's not uncomfortable. It's just, you know, a different way of getting the job done. Okay, to carry some gear that's super lightweight, just on your person, without carrying a full pack and making a whole ordeal out of it. Or maybe that's not something that, you know, you're able to do, but you do have the fabric, you do have the cordage, and you don't want to tuck like a big lumpy store-bought hammock in your pocket. What do? Well, we just wrap it around our waist. So let me adjust the camera and tie off this knot and show you kind of how to make a hammock just out of the cordage and the material itself. So stick with me and we'll get you right back. So we're using kind of a sheet bend knot to do this. So hopefully this will show up in camera. I'm going to put my cord up through the center, right? Pull it through, put it over top of our loose end here. So looks like that. Then come around underneath and go under that. We're going to crisscross under that. Okay, so it's going to look like this. We've come around the underneath, go through right there, and I'm going to marry up with the original side that I put underneath. So hopefully that shows up. It's going to look something like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, because this smaller diameter cordage has a tendency of wanting to back out, is I'm going to wrap around a few times. 1, 2, 3, and put it back through itself, and just bring that knot in to right there. Okay, I could throw another one in there if we really want to, just a quick little overhand knot, or stop knot, some people might call that. Okay, so is this the only way to get this job done? Of course not. There's more than one knot in the world. Use whatever knot applies to you. Then how do we attach it to the tree? Because now we have a bunch of loose ends. Now, this is not a tree strap made for hammocks, but I think people overreact a little bit about being concerned about how easily you can kill a tree. These trees are pretty hardy. I'm not saying do this all the time and disrespect the environment. I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't have to be that crazy. Okay, so people say string up your hammock no higher than you're willing to fall. Well, this is about waist height, and it should work just fine. So I've got my loose end over here. I've got the side that went around the tree. I'm going to bring them together, creating a crisscross. I'm going to go over with all of my loose cord over top of itself, around it. A lot of loose cord. Okay, so now it looks like this, right? Came over top. Go around itself now and up through. So I'm going to pull this into a bite or a loop right there. Okay, so one more time. So I went around the tree, brought my loose end here, went under, went all the way over around the line that's connected to my hammock, the end of my hammock. I want to police this up and get it kind of close into the tree so it doesn't slip down the tree. Okay, get this kind of in there, and I want this not to end up directly in line with where my other tree is, my other end of my hammock. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the side that came around the tree like this. Going to go over it, come back under, and now I'm just going to take this pinch. So this is my loose running end here. Okay. Now that I've got that pinch going, I can take something like a stick, put it in this loop, hold my knot, and pull my loose end until it tightens up around that toggle. Okay, that's stick. Now that it's done that, this knot isn't going to back out. All right, so we can pull on it, and it's not going nowhere, right? Some people say you got to say, that ain't going nowhere. In my experience, that's true. You got to say that ain't going to go nowhere, or that ain't going nowhere. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the other tree and bring you back to show you what the final product looks like here in just a minute. And we'll show you that you can indeed just pick any kind of fabric pretty much within reason. Don't pick something that's totally subpar, but pick something good and the length of about, like I said, 9 feet. So here we go. We're going to set up the other side, same exact way. We're going to replicate what we just did here, and I'm going to show you that you can just lay down in this hammock just like this, and it doesn't take very much to carry this type of setup. So that in combination with a mosquito head net, and you'd be in business for a night. Maybe even a tarp if you wanted to. All right. Indeed, you can just tie up some fabric and make yourself a hammock. It's quite comfortable. So you can lay out, now if you get it more fabric and, longer fabric, then you might be able to lay diagonally like some people prefer in your hammock setup. If you get the right fabric, but as you can see, this is probably, got an ant on my knee. You can see this is probably 4 feet wide by, I think it was about 9 foot 4 inches in length. A lot of people would suggest that you go to like 11 foot or something like that. Hey, you do you. I don't really care, but for weight savings and for size savings, you might want to consider what length is going to actually be working for you. So with that being said, I hope this information's helped you guys. There will be some bonus material that I'm going to show you and go back over to the other end that I tied off that I didn't show you. So if you've enjoyed this video, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. I apologize for the background. There's a highway about a mile and a half or so from me, and so that just echoes, but it's the way it goes. So finding places out in the woods, sometimes that's the way it happens. But so if you stuck with me this long, hang out just another minute. I'm going to show you some bonus material for this other side. Man, I could chill there all day and just take a nap. But that racket coming from over there at the highway gets old. So I guess it's going to rain too. So we'll just have to roll out. I mean, I have to, but I didn't bring a tarp either, and I don't feel like making something. Be wary of what kind of vegetation's under you and above you. We have the potential for branches to fall down. Now, not in the site that I've selected, but you want to be careful whenever you string up or wherever you sleep, even if it's not a hammock, that you are cognizant of, you're paying attention to what's above you as well as what's around you, because when you're working with fabric, there are, in this case, I'll take a dead one. In this case, there are saw palm meadow, which can mess up and destroy your fabric. So be careful of that. I cleared out the area. I spared you that, watching me clear out the area a little bit, but there are some things that could mess up your fabric. So be careful about that stuff. Move it out of the way. Make sure it's not going to be rubbing and abrading and causing a hole or a tear or rift in your fabric. So this is the other side of the hammock that we've strung up. You can see it's much longer than the first side that we tied off to this tree, where the end is just right there. So this end is maybe 6 feet from the end of the hammock to the actual, this is a pine tree on this side. So, and they're both healthy trees. Now I did say that it's not preferred to wring out the tree. Understand, this is for survival purposes. This is not for your just everyday recreational. It's not necessarily for your everyday recreational purposes. So if you're forced to do this and you've got to tie off with a string instead of something like a tree strap, obviously that's less ideal. But if you're making, doing, improvising, this is what we end up doing, is things that are less than ideal. That's just the way it goes, right? So with that being said, we tied this off in the same exact way that we did with the other one, just with more length, okay? With this, somebody had recently asked, what do we do with all of this excess length? We got several feet, because this is a 25-foot length of Kevlar cordage that I have here. What do I do to tidy that up? Because I don't want to have a bunch of loose-ended cordage. So I have this right here. I go, this is backward to me. Hopefully it translates in the camera. But I go over under my thumb and my forefinger until I get to the end. In just a minute here, this is 25 feet of cordage, so I used about 10 of it, and then I've got like 15 or so left over. Now this isn't going to be the perfect wrap because I'm backward to the camera, but this is kind of how we do that. Now, when I have a couple of feet left over, I take and keep it on my hand, but take it around the backside and start to loop it around itself. Once I get a few wraps and it's going to stay tidy, I can take it off my hand, off my fingers, keep that pinched together, and finish up wrapping to tighten it up. Okay. Once I have a little bit left, I'm going to put my pinky in it and wrap over my pinky. And then the next time I'm going to thread the loose end under that loop I just created with my pinky, if that translates in camera, and pull my loose end through that loop, tighten it up. And now that just dangles like so. All right. So that's what we do with the loose end. Now, extra bonus. This is Kevlar cordage. So there's crazy videos of people stropping their knives and using different things. Lots of different stuff can be used to tidy up your knife in the field. One of the reasons why I love Kevlar is because it does a great job. It's very strong material. You can tighten up your knife. So I can just pull my hammock and strop my knife, right? I go like you would spread butter, keeping a consistent angle all the way down the length of the blade. I like to start at the tip and work my way to the handle and then back. Now, this probably isn't going to look perfect in camera, but take your time about it. Do several evolutions of stropping, several repetitions. Now, is this the only way to do it? Of course not. I'm showing you one way. This is the improvised way. But my knife is super sharp from having done that. So, in recap, we've used just whatever off-the-shelf material. Like I said, could be synthetic, could be cotton. We've used some Kevlar cordage. It's about 3 millimeters in diameter. Don't go really any more narrow than that because it's going to give you problems with the not wanting to slip out, which is hard enough even with 3 millimeter. But for weight savings and size savings, that's why I want to go with smaller diameter. I can get a lot more length for the same footprint and same weight of maybe some typical cordage or some stuff that you might otherwise select thinking, oh, I need super thick cordage. You don't need super thick, you just need super good break strength. So this stuff is, I believe it was 750-pound break strength. I'm like a 185-pound dude. So with that being said, this is more than enough before I'm encroaching on the, getting close to what would be the break strength on that cordage. So I hope this video has helped, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching to the end.